in these pieces of the archives that you see. But the prophet didn't use that technology, which meant that it wasn't necessary. So you can't come up with nothing new. As well as he put the photos in this convention poster, he could have put the photos on our ID cards too. Because the technology was developed. Here, you got the heading of the organization, first annual convention, where it's at, and the dates. You got Prophet Noble Drawley. You got little pieces of information throughout here. You have the temples, temple number 2. Let me just say, all these temples here were set aside, and we've got documentation on that in the archives to support this, which was numbered and set aside by the prophet himself. All of these temples, which means that you can't have a temple number 7 anywhere else but in Cleveland. Why? Because the prophet gave it that number and set it aside. Temple number 2 in Charleston, Virginia, West Virginia. Temple number 3 in Milwaukee. Here's Mosby Hill, temple number 6 in Richmond, Virginia. Temple number 7 in Cleveland, Charles Bay, that's where you at. That's where you come from. It just said Charles Bay here. I'm just reading what's here. I know you're right, but yeah. Pine Bluff, Brown Eel. Then it gives a list of the program. It says, Monday, October the 15th, 7 a.m. The prophet started the convention that early in the morning. Sometimes they would go up to 10, 11 at night. But it was all day, and even his meetings was all day and night. The 7 a.m. to 12 midnight. Registration of delegates and visitors at General Headquarters, 3140 Indiana. Until midnight. That's 7. How many hours is that? 7 a.m. to midnight.
Around 15, 18 hours.
Oh. I mean, that's how long his conventions were.
That's 17 hours straight.
And it says 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. report of Detroit Moorish Science Temple of America, Brother Lomax Bay and Sister Lomax Bay, and presiding officers. And if you come closer, you can see a picture of Sister Lomax Bay right here. She was also called what?
Mimi Lomax Bay, the songstress.
Moorish songstress. Okay. You can see how she's wearing her turban. She got a little hair coming out here and back here. She didn't have all of her hair covered. So I would probably attribute that to vanity. In her dress, you can see that her arms are covered, which the sisters are required to do today. Many of you probably have seen a copy of this poster before. Some of you haven't. But those of you who haven't, this is how it was set up and promoted. Speaking of photographs, here's Lomax Bay. As you can see, Lomax Bay is wearing the signature bow tie, being from Temple number 4 in Detroit, which is where Elijah and his people adopted the dress of the bow tie. Elijah's reasoning of adopting the bow tie as part of the dress was, at that time, from what we study and know, was heavily associated with John Gibbons Eels' idea of a bow tie, and he associated that with a necktie was the hangman's noose, and that he discouraged members from wearing a necktie because it was like he was getting ready to be hanged. Or if they wore a necktie, they would cut it in the back and lightly sew it together. So if someone pulled it, it would come loose. Okay. So look at the colors that they're using here. Colors of our flag. Red and green. Here. This was in such shambles. My daughter took the iron, rolled it out and ironed all pieces on the back and glued it with cement glue because no other glue would stick. And there's more pieces in the box that we got to find and put these in. And we will have it reprinted. So those of you who want a copy of it, it will be available. before next convention. I know I'd like to have a copy of this and get it framed. You, Governor?
Yes, sir.